Now on Nightside, Israel launching a major attack against Iran. The details we know so far.
And folks, after a beautiful Thursday, we are looking at some smoke starting to come into our area, affecting our air quality. Also, have a look at your Father's Day weekend.
And the aftermath of the ICE facility protests in downtown Spokane last night. What protest organizer Ben Stuckert had to say about it. You're watching 4 News Now, Nightside. Well, new tonight on Nightside, Israel attacking Iran in what the Israeli defense minister is calling a preemptive strike. Thanks for staying up with us tonight. I'm Derek Dice. ABC's Selena Wang has the latest and what it could mean for the U.S.
Israel's defense minister says they've launched an attack against Iran, calling it a preemptive strike. But at this moment, it's unclear what the size, scope, or scale of that attack was. Earlier today, I had asked President Trump how imminent a strike from Israel on Iran's nuclear facilities could be.
Well, I don't want to say imminent, but it looks like it's something that could very well happen.
The U.S. tonight is stressing that they had no involvement in this attack. In a statement from Secretary of State Marco Rubio, he says, quote, "Tonight Israel took unilateral action against Iran. We are not involved in strikes against Iran, and our top priority is protecting American forces in the region. Israel advised us that they believe this action was necessary for its self-defense. President Trump and the administration have taken all necessary steps to protect our forces and remain in close contact with our regional partners. Let me be clear, Iran should not target U.S. interests or personnel." Now, this comes after the State Department had ordered non-essential diplomats out of Iraq, and the Pentagon had authorized military families to depart throughout the Middle East. Last month, President Trump had also said that he had warned Israel's Prime Minister Netanyahu not to launch an attack because he said the U.S. and Iran were getting close to a nuclear deal. In fact, for weeks, the president has been signaling that an agreement is close, but in recent days, the president said he was less confident that a deal could be reached. The U.S. and Iran have engaged in multiple rounds of nuclear talks. In fact, another round was scheduled for this Sunday, with President Trump's envoy, Steve Witkoff, scheduled to travel to Oman for talks with his Iranian counterparts on Sunday. It's unclear at this moment where this leaves those negotiations, but the president today had said that he was concerned that a strike could derail those ongoing negotiations. Selena Wang, ABC News, the White House.
And we did learn tonight that General Hossein Salami, the commander-in-chief of Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, was killed in that attack along with other high-ranking members of their military.
Again, this is Spokane Police Department. Lawful order to disperse has been given multiple times. You need to disperse now. This is an unlawful assembly. If you continue to stay, you will be arrested. Force will be used against your including chemical condition.
Well, those were the sounds many heard while at the protest outside of the ICE office near downtown Spokane last night. The protest began around 2 p.m. and was organized by former Spokane City Council President Ben Stuckert. The goal was to stop a van from leaving the ICE office. That van was there to transport people to the immigration detention facility in Tacoma, including Cesar Alexander Alvarez Perez, a 21-year-old Venezuelan man who was seeking asylum. Stuckert and other protesters sat in front of that van so it couldn't leave. But later on, the protests took a turn. Police issued the order for the crowd to disperse and then began arresting people who were breaking the law. Police Chief Kevin Hall said SPD didn't use any tear gas or rubber bullets, but they did use pepper balls and inert smoke to try to break up the crowd.
This is democracy in America. Democracy in America, where peaceful protesters are gassed.
More than 30 protesters, including Stuckert, were arrested. We sat down with Stuckert this morning to hear his thoughts on how this protest unfolded.
The whole situation should have been started from when the police showed up with their de-escalation team. And I'm severely disappointed from my conversations with the chief and the mayor that the de-escalation they promised did not happen.
While Stuckert says he's grateful for the community's support, he's sad that Alvarez Perez was taken away by ICE. Again, the Spokane Police Department and the Spokane County Sheriff's Office both said they did not use tear gas or rubber bullets against protesters last night. Sheriff John Knowles said foam batons were only used after select protesters began throwing smoke canisters at deputies. Mayor Lisa Brown explained why she made the decision to involve SPD when Washington law and the safety of the public was violated. violated. But one protester who got caught in the crossfire believes this could have been avoided.
The problem could have been de-escalated in countless different ways before this happened, but they chose aggression. That's as simple as that.
Now, Harris Kaler says he was hit with a smoke canister during all the chaos. Chief Hall insists the increased police response was a reaction to criminal behavior seen at the protest. Several lawmakers from the city and state level have released statements regarding the protest. Spokane County Commissioner Josh Kearns saying the unrest we have seen in the city of Spokane is unacceptable. I strongly support every American's First Amendment right to speak freely and protest peacefully, but that does not include violence, obstruction of law enforcement, destruction of property, or putting others at risk. Washington State Senator Patty Murray also commenting on the protest, saying, I stand with the citizens of Spokane who are peacefully speaking out against these egregious abuses of our immigration laws and those who are mounting challenges in courts. I will always support people exercising their First Amendment right to peaceful protest, and I urge anyone taking part in protest activities to remain calm and never resort to violence, which only plays into the Trump administration's hands. You can read these full statements right now on KXLY.com. And with all the protests recently, many are wondering what business owners are doing about it. Some people online comparing last night's protest to what we saw here in Spokane in 2020, when windows were smashed, buildings were vandalized, and there were instances of looting. But business owners we met with say they aren't too worried about this weekend. Most of the ICE protests we've seen nationwide have remained mostly peaceful, including last night. One business owner is encouraging people to protest without plans of boarding up windows or battening down the hatches.
I think a lot of instances where people smashed out windows and stuff in 2020, a lot of that too was also people that weren't even involved in the situations. They were just looking for an opportunity to cause trouble.
Jesse McCauley says he's encouraging people to make their voices heard, and he says basic human rights are being violated in these ICE raids. Law enforcement in Kootenai County plans to have a large presence at the No Kings protest in Coeur d'Alene in case of any violence this Saturday. Coeur d'Alene police say it plans to work with the Kootenai County Sheriff's Office and Idaho State Police to keep these protests peaceful. The Indivisible Project plans to host the No Kings protest aimed at the Trump administration on Highway 95 near Appleway Avenue.
We want to take the steps that are necessary to protect everybody's rights, both to exercise their First Amendment rights and protest peacefully, and then also to keep everybody safe for the events that we have. And so those are things that are important to us.
In a statement, Kootenai County Sheriff Bob Norris said any acts of violence or property damage will result in a swift and lawful response. All right, Jason Valentine in for Chris Crocker tonight with a look at the forecast. And hey, pretty nice out right now.
It's been just a beautiful week, unless you really hate heat. But we've been cooling down, a little more comfortable today as well. We're going to see a comfortable weekend. Thank you so much, Derek. Good Thursday evening, everybody. Hope you've had a wonderful, wonderful day. 67 right now in Spokane. It is warm out there, and we're going to be seeing very nice conditions as we head into tomorrow, but we have a slight chance of a quick shower very early tomorrow. First, we're going to start with the air quality. We are in the moderate zone, so that is only one step above or worse than the good zone. So we're not seeing too much bad just yet, but it is uncomfortable that we're still over a week away from summer. Next Friday, we hit the summer solstice, and we're already seeing some smoke coming into our area, and it's pretty widespread for the Spokane region and the Inland Empire. We're getting fed from the Tri-Cities. There's quite a few fires going on there right now. Also, we're being fed by the Dalles and a few fires around that region. This will give you a better idea. This is the smoke forecast. This is overnight into tomorrow morning. Look at this huge plume coming from the Dalles fire, and it's going to start to get into Pullman by the time we get to our morning commute tomorrow, and that's just ever increasingly going north. So hopefully we'll see the winds shift a bit and get the smoke out of here, but for right now we are dealing with just a little bit of smoke. Let's take a look at our evening planner, and we have a very comfortable overnight. We're looking at overnight lows around mid-50s, so that is good. It's been cooler than it has been. A little bit of cloud coverage. We're not used to that. And again, a quick shower or two could hit as we get to around 5 a.m. or so, but we're going to clear up very nicely for your Friday. My goodness, what a great start to your Father's Day weekend. Can't wait to tell you all about it. My full forecast, that's coming up.
All right, Jason, thank you. Spokane Pride Parade organizers say safety is their top priority for Saturday's parade in downtown. This comes as several other protests are scheduled to take place in downtown Spokane this weekend. Spokane Pride says it has safety plans in place to make sure everyone can enjoy this event.
Our volunteers all get a small amount of safety training as well. All of the stages have direct lines of communication to the command center and back and forth, so if there's any sort of emergency announcements that we need to make, they're immediately sent to the stages.
The Peace and Justice Action League will also be at Pride, helping with de-escalation. Spokane Police Department will have a presence there as well, as it does every year.
Spokane Indians haven't done particularly well this June so far, sitting at 3-6, but tonight they can steady that a little bit more with the win over the Vancouver Canadians, ending back-to-back losses to start the series. 2 men on in the top of the first. Aiden Longwell, deep to right, gets the ball to just drop in. Here comes Jared Thomas. Run number 1 is to the Indians, and with back-to-back bases loaded walks, quickly turns into 3-0 with 2 outs on the board. But here comes Vancouver. Arjun Nemola, the top Blue Jays prospect, hops the skipper to left, bops over the Spokane field. There's another error, this time by Thomas. Canadians get on the board, but after more bases loaded walks, now for Vancouver, Hayden Gilliland brings the Canadians the lead with a 2-run double, and 2 innings later, it's him again wanting more. Hayden digs for a straightaway center single, and comes another run. It's 6-3, and Sean Keys, he keeps the runs pouring for the C's. That rhyme unintentional. A great hit right into right field corner helps seal it up. 10-6, Vancouver wins. So another frustrating evening for Spokane, dropping 3 straight. But don't miss an absolutely wild ending of Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Finals. We bring you all more overtime action coming up later in the cast. Derek, back to you.
All right, Jack, thank you so much. Well, still ahead, tips to protect yourself and your family from wildfire smoke. And the downtown Spokane zip line is one step closer to reality. The next step in the process coming up.
And we've gone from temperatures in the mid-90s to highs in the mid-70s for tomorrow. Will it be that way for your entire weekend? Let me get you prepared. My first alert weather forecast, that is next on 4 News Now, Nightside. Stick with us.
Connect with 4 News Now on KXLY+.
Style or substance. Somehow, it became one or the other. But there is another choice. Not stopping until you have everything in the GMC Sierra. Or get 0% APR on select Sierra 1500 models. That's over $4,300 in average finance savings. We are professional grade.
The reviews are in, and guess what?
Late night.
You're a very handsome man.
Never looked so good.
I'm flattered, and I couldn't agree more.
Really attractive.
Oh, yeah, I love you so much. I hope your wife doesn't find out.
Jimmy Kimmel Live, new weeknights on ABC.
Summer is here in the Pacific Northwest, and it's set to be a scorcher. But why suffer through another season of sweltering heat and box fans? Call the experts at Bill's Heating and AC. With a lowest price guarantee, free second opinions, and a warehouse full of top quality equipment, we're ready to make your summer comfortable without breaking the bank. Technicians are on standby. Call for your free quote today.
Expect even more from KXLY+. Live updates from the 4 News Now team. Breaking news as it happens. Weather every 10 minutes. Stay connected for free with 4 News Now on KXLY+.
4 News Now is brought to you by Post Falls Volkswagen.
All right, welcome back to Nightside. It is Smoke Ready Week, and the Washington Department of Health and Spokane Clear Air Agency are spreading tips and information on how smoke can affect your health. According to the Department of Health, smoke can cause irritation of the throat, eyes, and nose. It can also cause headaches and shortness of breath. So if the air quality index rises, it is recommended you limit your time outside. And when you're indoors, make sure you're breathing in clean air by keeping your windows closed and using an air filtration system. If you can't avoid going outside while there's smoke in the area, you can wear a mask to help filter out the fine particles in smoke. And on the topic of smoke, many counties in Washington will be under burn restrictions starting tomorrow. This is due to the warm and dry weather we've been having lately. Some of the impacted counties include Spokane, Stevens, Grant, Pend Oreille, and Okanagan. During the burn restrictions, the following things are prohibited: smoking outside of designated locations, using a fire, campfire, or stove fire, operating a motorized vehicle off-road, and fireworks are prohibited as well. We've been lucky so far, Jason Valentine, not a lot of big wildfires in our area where that air quality gets really, really bad, as we've kind of become accustomed to here recently.
That's what I was going to say. It's unfortunate that we're all used to, well, we're going to have some bad air quality on the way. We just hope it's limited. Let's take a look outside. Just a beautiful day today, a beautiful evening as well. Currently, we're in the mid-60s. As one of my favorite things growing up here in Spokane was the summer nights. I know we're a little over a week away from summer, but it's just nights like this. It's just wonderful. So it's going to continue. So smoke is starting to seep in. I'm going to get to that in a bit. We are above average temperatures, at least for the next 6 days, but a cooling trend could be on the way. Some breezy conditions, again, adding to fire danger, and likely, though, staying dry. We could really use some precipitation. We just didn't get enough precipitation during the spring, so we're kind of really needing some precipitation. So current air quality, we are in the moderate zone for much of the Inland Empire, Tri-Cities as well, due to some fires going on in that area, also in the Dalles that I showed you just a few minutes ago. So our air quality index, just to reacquaint yourself, moderate is just a step above good, but then when we start getting higher, that's when we get into trouble. So unhealthy for sensitive groups is the next, then unhealthy, then all the way up to hazardous. So we're going to keep a close eye on it. Hopefully we don't have to use it too often. So high temperature trend, we are looking mighty fine. Look at this, a slow upgrade or upslope, let's just say, to Monday to 82. That looks to be our apex. Then we're going to cool back down just a bit. So for the week ahead, we're going to be right around the upper 70s to lower 80s. But after this Thursday into the next week following that, we're expecting to see below average temperatures. That means we could see some mid to lower 70s to even an upper 60 or two. Of course, we'll keep an eye on that. But some cooler temperatures may be on the way, and nothing like we saw just a few days ago on Monday with those mid 90s. So quite a bit of shower activity up to the north in Canada with quite a bit of electricity. Our area's been staying dry. We have a slight chance of seeing a little shower activity coming in very early, and there it is around 2 a.m. We have a little bit of a system that could just graze our regions. That's at 5 a.m., but that should be moving on. Maybe a little bit of cloud coverage for your commute tomorrow. Then another system comes in Friday night. That'll move past pretty quickly, so just small chances of seeing a little bit of shower activity, so keep an eye out for that. Current temperatures, mid-60s for most of our areas, 58 for Ritzville. Temperature change from yesterday, pretty significant, between around 5 or so degrees for most of our cities. We'll expect another decrease tomorrow, and then we're going to start to build up. Winds, we had gusts in the mid-20s today, and we expect those gusts to return tomorrow afternoon, but right now we're looking more or less light. And hey, if you're thinking of doing some camping for the Father's Day weekend, just move a little bit west to the Steamboat Rock State Park and looking at mighty fine conditions for your camping. Let's take a look at that 7-day forecast. 77 tomorrow, looking at 80 degrees for Father. Don't forget Dad on Sunday. Then as we move into our weekend, we are looking at, again, just mighty fine conditions on the way. So for the week ahead, we are looking just a little bit above average by about 10 to 5 degrees. A very comfortable week is ahead, especially considering we saw those mid-90s just 5 days ago.
All right, Jason, thank you. Now for a scam alert for people in Nez Perce County. The Nez Perce County Sheriff's Office wants people to be on alert for someone calling and claiming to be a deputy from Whitman County. Deputies say this person will claim to be Deputy Dan Brown and say you missed a court date and need to pay $2,000 over the phone or you'll be picked up on a warrant. The Sheriff's Office wants to remind you they don't call to advise of warrants or request payment over the phone. Spokane is one step closer to getting a zip line in downtown. The city's park board unanimously approved a plan that would be built along the Spokane River. The zip line would take riders from the Place of Truth's Plaza just below Spokane City Hall, under the Monroe Street Bridge, and onto a platform in Peaceful Valley on the east side of Red Band Park. The plan now heads to the City Council for consideration. Spokane continues to grow as a biomanufacturing hub with more than 70 life science companies calling the city home. And now Jubilant Hollister-Steer is partnering with Spokane Community College to train workers for high-demand jobs in the field. A new introduction to biomanufacturing program launched this semester, and it guarantees students an internship interview with the company.
And we're not looking to just create jobs. We want to create careers.
The company manufactures sterile vaccines and injectable medications, including cancer drugs and heart imaging agents. Students who don't match with Jubilant Hollister-Steer will have opportunities with other life science companies throughout Spokane. Well, if you're planning a family trip this summer, the advice one doctor has for keeping your family healthy from viral viruses. That's next on Nightside.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
Welcome to What's Next. For your community, for your career, and for the healthcare field. At Carrington College, we're training the next generation of dental assisting professionals, bringing you the hands-on training to be ready for a career in the dental health world. We're building on a proven legacy of career training, going back over half a century. So if you're ready to train for a career in dental assisting and make a difference in your community, we're ready for you.
We owe everything to our troops, past and present, for their honor, courage, and dedication. As a token of our appreciation, 4 News Now and Global Credit Union encourage you once again to wear red on Fridays.
Join us in recognizing our troops and their families for allowing us the freedom we enjoy every day as Americans. Stop into any Global branch to pick up a red pin and show your support.
And then wear red every Friday from now until September 11.
Wear Red Fridays, brought to you by 4 News Now and Global Credit Union.
Are you in need of an update? Panhandle Carpet One is more than just flooring. We've launched our brand new Cabinet Design Center and remodel showroom. From custom cabinetry and stunning flooring options, our experts bring your dream space to life. Hardwood, luxury vinyl, carpet, laminate, tile, window treatments, and cabinets. Panhandle Carpet One Floor and Home. Now your destination for floors, cabinets, and complete home style. Visit us on West Appleway or start designing at panhandlecarpet1coeur d'alene.com.
Which automaker employs the most hourly workers in the country? Ford. Which automaker assembles the most vehicles in the country? Ford. That's not a coincidence. It's a commitment. A commitment Ford dealers share by offering employee pricing across a full lineup of Ford vehicles.
Get employee pricing plus 1.9% and $4,500 bonus cash on a 2024 Ford F-150 STX. Only at your local Ford dealer.
4 News Now is brought to you by STCU, here for good.
All right, welcome back. In news for your health tonight, the summertime is coming up, and if you're planning on traveling with family, healthcare officials are urging everyone to practice protection against viral viruses. These types of viruses can include measles, norovirus, or COVID-19. According to the CDC, the best protection against the measles is getting vaccinated. For norovirus, good hand hygiene can protect you from getting sick, and for COVID-19, it's recommended you get a booster shot.
If you are somebody who's 65 and older or have a medical condition that puts you at greater risk for severe COVID, and you're going to be in crowded situations, especially indoors, then you should seriously consider getting a COVID booster if you haven't already done so.
Dr. Daniel Kurizik says if you're traveling internationally, it's important to be aware of insect-borne illnesses and protect your skin from mosquito bites. And now for our top trending stories on KXLY.com, starting with number 3. ICE protesters arrested in Spokane last night were released without bond due to their lack of criminal history. At number 2, Spokane Mayor Lisa Brown declared a state of emergency last night following the ICE protests in downtown Spokane. And at number 1, Representative Michael Baumgartner calls out Washington State's transgender sports rules and praises female runner Lauren Matthew of West Valley as the rightful winner, despite East Valley's Veronica Garcia winning the 2A girls 400-meter dash. You can find each of these stories right now on our website, KXLY.com. All right, Jack, the Edmonton Oilers and the Florida Panthers were battling out in a critical Game 4 in the Stanley Cup Final.
Another Oilers overtime classic, Panthers overtime classic. Florida then beat them down to set up a 2-1 series. Check out how Game 4 ended. Spoiler, another overtime. Who has the edge in the Stanley Cup Final? All coming up next.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
4 News Now is brought to you by Andy's Heating, Cooling, Electrical.
The stakes do not get any higher.
I pledge allegiance to what I believe in. Live to fight another day if yesterday beat me. And I ain't getting younger, but I'm getting better. Got no time to waste, that's another man's treasure. They say every dog has his day. These are the days.
The two very best in the NBA.
These are the days. Every day, my day.
The NBA Finals, Thunder, Pacers, Game 4 on ABC.
Is it time to update your living spaces? Don't overspend at the big box store. Come see us at Consign Furniture and browse the largest selection of like-new consignment furniture in Liberty Lake. Visit us online or stop by today. Consign Furniture. It's the smart way to buy.
Dear unbreakable spirit, when the terrain is gnarly, you steady us. When obstacles are ahead, you lift us. When the turf is hostile, you inspire us. Own a legend. Toyota Trucks. Toyota has the best resale value of all brands according to Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
To me, Harlem is home. But home is also your body.
Last one, everyone.
I asked myself, why doesn't Pilates exist in Harlem? So I started my own studio. Getting a brick and mortar in New York is not easy. Chase Inc. has supported us from Studio 1 to Studio 3. When you start small, you need some big help, and Chase Inc. was that for me.
Earn up to 5% cash back on business essentials with the Chase Inc. Business Cash Card from Chase for Business. Make more of what's yours.
Spring is in the air. If you're considering updating your living spaces, let our team do all the heavy lifting. We will pick up and sell your like-new consignment furniture.
Consign Furniture. It's the easy way to sell, smart way to buy.
After a thrilling Game 3 of the NBA Finals, the Indiana Pacers lead Oklahoma City Thunder 2-1. And with Game 4 in Indianapolis tomorrow night, this series could get pretty out of hand quickly. Pacers refuse to back down after a solid Thunder start. Former Zag Chet Holmgren, 13 points, 4 rebounds, shooting nearly perfectly from the field. But as the game progressed, Chet and the Thunder faltered in the second and fourth quarters, allowing Indy to take their first halftime lead of the series and first win without, of course, a miracle shot. Thank you, Tyrese Halliburton. Another former Zag, Andrew Nimhart, spoke to the media today coming off that win and how Indiana can keep it up in a huge Game 4.
Each game in the playoffs is important. You know, we're coming in with the same mentality to play hard and stay together. The amount of time we've been together, you know, we've built that trust, and we've been in a lot of situations where we've had to rely on each other down the stretch to make a game happen.
Oklahoma City and Indiana tip off for Game 4 in Indy tomorrow night at 5:30, right back here on ABC. For the fourth time this playoffs, yes, that's an NHL record. Second time this series, Leon Draisaitl provides a thrilling overtime winner. The Edmonton Oilers down the Florida Panthers 3 goals in the first intermission, miraculously rally and win it 5-4, 0-3. I mean, just crazy. They're the first road team to rally down 0-3 in the finals since the Montreal Canadiens did it against the Seattle Metropolitans. That was in 1919. First overall team to do it since 2006. 7 teams have done it ever. Panther Matthew Tkachuk bagged 2 goals, the first 2 of the game. He's the only multi-goal scorer of either time. Not a fun time for the Seattle Mariners as of late. A losing streak again, but it's not just that sinking record that's sinking stomachs, but in the way that they've lost. The M's haven't strung together more than just a couple wins since mid-May. One of the most significant factors in that free fall is when players left on base. That number is almost 500. Second in the AL, plus a pretty poor batting average, just over 200 with runners in scoring position. Only Chicago White Sox, Colorado Rockies, and the Baltimore Orioles are in worse spots. So June Blues is the theme, month opening walk-off beating the Minnesota Twins, but it's been free falling since. Under 500 for the first time since mid-April. AL West race not going crazy hot either, with the Houston Astros on top, a few games ahead, and the LA Angels, they're now tied for second. So up next, not easier. Cleveland Guardians coming right up. They're sitting around the same record, a little bit better. Cleveland beat Seattle in their season series the past couple years. First back-to-back season series wins since when T-Mobile Park opened up. First pitch in the park tomorrow at 7:10 p.m.
First pitch on the ground left side. It's the third baseman Messenger having it kick off his mitt.
Right off the mitt and right out of the game for the Spokane Indians. This one more on the pitching, though. Usually it's been on the pitching this time. Vancouver rocking Braxton Hyde early. He allowed 1 hit and 5 runs through the first 2 outs. Hunter Omlid with 3 hits and another 5 runs to the next 7 outs. Not great either. But Spokane native, positive note, Stu Fleslin had a fantastic performance. One of his best of the season. 3 no-hit innings, including 4 strikeouts. So good for him. But Spokane was just in first, almost in first a week ago. Yeah. But they're now second to last in Northwest League. But the craziest part, only 3 games back from Vancouver in first. And if they win the series out, they're tied for it. So small league.
We got to get the Indians and the Mariners moving in the right direction here again.
Got to get there.
And I'm going to guess there's going to be a big Coeur d'Alene contingent in Seattle this weekend with Kyle Manzardo coming in with the Guardians.
Oh, it'll be a ton of fun, yeah.
All right, we'll be right back.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app. At 4 News Now, we believe you should expect more from local news. Our team is committed to a community conversation and bringing you information you need when and where you need it. Numerica believes in and supports that mission.
Saved is a lifetime earned. Numerica Credit Union. Money where it matters.
Style or substance. Somehow, it became one or the other. But there is another choice. Not stopping until you have everything in the GMC Sierra. Or get 0% APR on select Sierra 1500 models. That's over $4,300 in average finance savings. We are professional grade.
When you call the advocates, you'll see right away, we don't fiddle around.
We don't waste time.
Don't dilly-dally.
We don't burn daylight.
Because this isn't our first rodeo.
Or a second.
We know the ropes.
Ben's the dance.
We've been down this road.
We know the score.
We've been there.
Got the t-shirt.
Done it all?
Seen it all.
Which means the advocates is the place to call for your injury case. We'll fight to get you the most.
And don't dilly-dally.
Don't start that again. Injured? You deserve an advocate.
My feet hurt so bad in the morning, I couldn't even put my feet on the floor. So I had to start engineering my own arch support. So I got that, then I put this in there, this one. Finally, before I added another one of these in, I went to Good Feet, and they gave me this. So I built all this together to engineer a solution to my pain. And if I'd have just gone to Good Feet, I'd have been better off in the first place.
Good Feet Arch Supports, engineered for pain relief, personally fitted for you.
See breaking news in your area or have a story idea? Contact 4 News Now.
Welcome back, and after a beautiful Thursday, we have a beautiful Friday ahead. It's Friday the 13th. Plenty of sunshine. We do have some cloud coverage, though, for your commute. More clouds than you've been used to, and maybe just a little bit of a spritz overnight. Other than that, we're looking at winds just like today, breezy, especially in the afternoon. But it's going to be a nice start to a nice Father's Day weekend.
Yeah, looking really good for your Friday. All right, Chipotle fans, listen up here. Tomorrow from 3 to 4, in honor of Friday the 13th, Chipotle is offering a buy one, get one deal for fans who are, quote, tatted up like a Chipotle bag. You can have real tattoos or even use fake ones to be considered eligible for the deal. And get this, if you're in need of some tattoos, Chipotle will be giving out temporary tattoos tomorrow during that time frame. So it's just from 3 to 4 if you want to go window. Make out on the BOGO burritos or what have you. So.
I'm a Chipotle tattoo. Does that get extra?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. For sure.
Absolutely.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Maybe.